IML students. Today, good evening, IML students. Today, you guys are going to learn about price action and most specifically, Japanese candlesticks. Before we get started, here's a little bit about myself. My name is Adeze Duncan, representing iMarkets Live. Some of you may know me from Forex 101 on IML TV. Also, I was an educator for 10 years, and now I'm here educating you on the facts and methods of Forex. In order to get started on this journey, you need to remember one thing and one thing only. I am a student, always. This is very important for you to remember and to remind yourself of often. You will hear me use this phrase frequently as a reminder that you are a student that is learning a skill that will pay you for the rest of your life. Make sure that you take your time and learn what you need to learn. Pace yourself. Do not compare yourself to anyone else's progress. Always keep a winning mind frame and you will do very well in this industry. Upon finishing this video, you should have a very good understanding of the following questions. Read through them quietly to yourself. As you are taking notes, make sure to pause this video in order to answer these questions. So let's get started on what a candlestick is. In this picture, you see an example of a candlestick. These are called Japanese candlesticks, or you usually find them on the OHLC chart. I'll talk about that shortly. So this candlestick is made up of a big fat region called the body, and then the little skinny things coming out of it is called the wick, also known as the exhaustion or the shadow. It's good to follow these because they tell you a lot. I'm going to go into what each of these mean on the next slide. So I mentioned an OHLC chart, okay? What that actually stands for is open, high, low, close. So if you look over at this picture, you have the top of the wick, the very tippy top where you see the arrows pointing to highest. That means that this was the highest that this candle has reached. And then the L for low stands for lowest, which means this is the furthest down that this candle's reached. And when I'm talking about the highest up and the furthest down, do you see the body region? That body, the big fat portion? That means at one point, the body of the candle was all the way down to that tippy top or the very bottom. So now, because the body could not stay down there, what you now have is the close and the open. So the open stands for where did the candle first begin? Where did it actually open up? What was its opening price? And the close was, what was its closing price? This is important when you start talking about different time frames because different candlesticks take a certain amount of time to form. Some can form in 5 minutes, some can form in 1 week. Depending on the chart you're looking at is going to determine when it actually closed, but this OHLC will tell you the actual open, high, low, and close prices in the market. Now, a little bit more about these wicks. They actually tell you a lot about decisions being made in the background. Sometimes you'll see really, really long wicks like you see in A, or sometimes you won't see hardly any wicks at all like you see in candlestick B. Wicks actually give you signs that the market is wanting to move in a certain direction. For instance, when you have long wicks forming in certain areas, it is a sign that the market, and when I say the market, I'm talking about all those candlesticks on your chart right now. You see all those candlesticks that are forming. Some of them are going up, like overall they're going up, and some of them overall are going down. But what I'm saying is, when you see wicks in certain areas, it's telling you that the market may not want to move much higher, may not want to go up higher. So what you find is you find a long wick. Now, what do we know about wicks? We know that wicks tell you the highest that the market had reached at a certain time. So when you see long wicks forming, that shows you that the market tried to move into that area, but had a hard time staying in that area, right? So that is a good sign that there could be a possible reversal or a possible turnaround. If you look in the picture, you'll see where there are wicks. You see in that little purple region right there where there's lots of wicks in that area, and then all of a sudden the market turned around and went down. That's an example of what I'm talking about. So pay attention to those wicks. They tell you a lot. They tell you that the market may not be trying to move in that direction. Wicks are also like what we call fake outs, meaning that the market was moving up in that direction, but it decided not to move in that direction. And we call it fake outs because it faked you out. You thought it was moving up, but it actually was not. Or you thought it was moving down, but it actually was not. So here's another example of wicks. You see I have wicks drawn all over the place, but just take a look at this picture and look at where you see wicks, especially in those certain areas, those purple regions. Notice how you see those wicks and how the market actually did turn around. Eventually it made a complete turn. You see, at the very bottom where the arrow is pointing downwards, how the market reversed and moved upwards. It's just important to pay attention to those wicks. Pay very close attention to them. They are a good sign that the market may want to turn around. Not a end all be all, but one of the indications, one confirmation that you can use when you are making a decision about what you think the market is going to do. Notice I said a confirmation. When you guys make decisions, you need multiple confirmations, and having wicks as one of them can be a good confirmation to add to your tools. By now, you should have a good understanding of the following questions. Read them quietly to yourself, and when you are finished, go on to the next video in this series. Thank you so much. My name is Adeze Duncan, and remember, I am a student always.